attorney Sierra Norris. I represent Jane Doe in the suit against Cardi B and Drai's nightclub. We wanted to make a statement to the media, and we wanted to announce this lawsuit as we filed it. A lot of people are wondering where our client is. A lot of people are wondering what the timing is. But we are going to keep Jane Doe's privacy for as long as we can, and we ask that you all do it as well. It is quite the feat to take on someone that is known and loved like Cardi B. It takes quite the courage, quite the team in this very David and Goliath situation to stand up and say, hey, I'm ready to hold somebody accountable for what happened to me. As you know, on July 29th of 2023 at Drai's nightclub in a day party, Cardi B, after already doing a set the night before, became extremely agitated after asking a very heat-induced, chaotic, and most likely intoxicated crowd to throw water on her. It's interesting because it comes in a day and age where we see stars and we see people like Billie Eilish or Travis Scott, where we have a lot of these issues going on between fans and stars and the complexities of those relationships. This is not a situation where a fan threw a phone at someone on stage with no provocation. This is a situation where something was asked of a crowd. Something was asked of a crowd by an entertainer, by a professional, and a response was in that professional's eyes, Cardi B's eyes. Whether that response was something they would have agreed to, it was a response that was invited by Cardi B. And so we have to talk about reasonableness here. A lot of people are very concerned, well, isn't it self-defense, or, oh, self-defense is couched in the idea of reasonableness. And everyone knows, including Cardi B's attorneys, that you do not bring a gun to a knife fight. And you do not bring a microphone, a 1.1-pound microphone, arched all the way back to the head of one of your fans, overthrowing ice at a time where maybe you thought you were done. That's not reasonable. And thank God that we are not in a court of public opinion, but we are in a court of law. This is assault and this is battery. On July 29th of 2023, I received a message via my Instagram from our Jane Doe's best friend. She was holed up in a hotel. She was mentally wrecked. She was hurt. Her feelings were hurt. She had no idea what happened. She was ushered by herself because she was traveling alone and she had no idea what to do. It was at that time that I sent members of my law firm to go get her. When I was in trial at the time, so I had to send some of my teams to go get her. She didn't find an attorney willing to take this case. I've been her attorney since the day it happened. And we decided that we weren't gonna go for 15 minutes of fame, that we weren't going to immediately file a lawsuit, that we weren't going to immediately jump on this wave of virality, that we were going to take care of our client first, that we were gonna make sure she was okay first. She got hit with a microphone that day, but also her mental and emotional state got hit in a way that she is still not recovered from. It was hard for her to leave the house. It was hard for her to talk about it. We live in a day and age where once social media gets a hold of something, they don't care about the person that they're talking about. They destroy, they find people, they contact their jobs, they ruin people's lives and reputation. We had to make sure that our client was okay first, because that is what I focused on with my Jane Doe. Not a lawsuit immediately for a couple of bucks, but whether pay, because she came to Las Vegas to see someone that she loved. She came to Las Vegas to see an entertainer that she still cares about. She saw Cardi B the night before at Drai's nightclub when Cardi B threw the microphone at her DJ. She came back at the day party alone to see a person that she loved. And in response to something that everyone else was doing, our client got a different response. And that response shattered her. And so a lot of people are asking why now? Well, one of the reasons was we need to make sure she was okay, but we also needed to build a team. A solid team that understood what needed to be done, what claims needed to be made, and how this needed to be moved forward. I believe that my client chose me to create this team and to be her voice because she wanted a fighter. She wanted someone who wasn't afraid to take on someone with all the influence, all the power, and all the clout. Cardi B and her team have made all the choices in this case. However, even the people that we love, even the people that we hold in high esteem must be held accountable for their mistakes, or they turn in to things that we do not recognize. Fame is not a license to harm, and just because Cardi B is one of the most loved entertainers in the world does not mean that she is free from accountability. Our client that she needs, and she knows that maybe one day you will find out who she is, but for right now, we would like you to respect her privacy and respect the courage that it takes to take on someone that has so much more influence and so much more resources and say, hey, look, you might not like me for it, but I was wronged, and it's time for some accountability. So that's kind of what we wanted to present. We wanted to obviously get out in front of this. You file a lawsuit against one of the biggest names in the entertainment business. You don't let the media do the work for you. You get out in front of it, you talk about it, you represent your client, you're her voice, you're her advocate, and that's what we're here to do. And I'm just extremely proud to have these lawyers beside me, Lawrence and Thomas, and they're gonna answer all your questions about the complaints and the law and the legality of it. But we're ready. We're ready for this fight. This is not a pathetic lawsuit. Calling it pathetic is pathetic. Calling someone to have the bravery to stand up against someone that is bigger than them, stand up against somebody that has more than them, that's not pathetic, that's brave. And so we're here to basically say, bring it on. We're ready.
And we can take questions at this time if anybody has any.
Whenever we have situations like this, a lot of the public, they say someone like your client, victim, it's a money grab. They're just trying to get money from a high-profile celebrity. So, what do you say to those people?
This isn't a money grab. This is about public safety. Complaints of this nature are like allowing people to go to concerts and not having things hurled at them. It is not the price of admission that someone should be assaulted as alleged in the complaint. And so this is about accountability and justice, not only for Jane Doe, but also for everyone else that comes to Las Vegas and attends a show in this jurisdiction.
Aside from the money, are you seeking other damages? Maybe perhaps, I don't know, anger management classes or anything like that?
We're only seeking to make Jane Doe whole for the incident and the trauma that she had to go through. And that's all we're seeking at this time.
I will say this, though. At the beginning of this lawsuit, at the beginning of this incident, my client Jane Doe was not the one who wanted, she didn't know whether she wanted. For a very long time. And so I know it might be hard pressed, and it's probably a Hail Mary long shot. But if there's something, the girl's girl, she promised us she was gonna be. She's one of us. We put her there. The black and the brown women, far before she was on Love and Hip Hop, far before she came out with Bodak Yellow, we cheered her on. We loved her. We're her fans. And she needs to stop being stubborn and understand that this isn't a money grab. This is accountability, because you're going to throw the microphone at the wrong person in the wrong way, and you're going to hurt someone. How many microphones and how many and just say sorry. Just take accountability to a fan, to someone that loves you, to a group of people that love you, or you're going to go down just like the person that came before her as a villain. And I don't think she has room for that. So we're gonna, I think in making Jane Doe whole, taking accountability for this wrong. The last time Cardi B made an interview about this, she was on the Breakfast Club, and she said my client was being funny. She called her a bitch. She made a joke out of it. And so therefore everyone else made a joke out of it. And that is what influence does. People go with the group. But it's time for her to stand up and realize that this is not a joke, and she made a mistake against a fan who loves her. And so not only are we seeking damages, we'll probably never get it, but she should issue an apology.
In terms of the trauma that you mentioned, what specifically?
Jane Doe is currently undergoing ongoing psychiatric evaluation. This was a very, from my understanding after speaking with her, is this has been an extremely traumatic experience for her. Having just, as the allegations in the complaint happen, having her own home, traumatic for her. And again, I'm a local Las Vegas attorney here. We want our guests to be able to come into concert venues and feel safe. And I can anecdotally say that this has been a repeat instance, that we just had a trial last year with Quavo from Los Migos on a very similar issue. This is about accountability and keeping society safe from actions as we alleged in our complaint.
Were there any physical injuries other than the emotional trauma?
She was hit on her shoulder and her arm. However, the physical injuries truly stem from the past. And I don't want to give a lesson in tort law, but there's something called eggshell plaintiff. You don't know who you're throwing a microphone at. A few years before this incident, our client went through a very traumatic injury where she had to learn how to walk again. She had to regain her independence. She faced an injury that almost put her, almost sat her down. And so after gaining that independence, she was forced right back into the home, right back into trauma. And so it's more of like an eggshell thing. Everyone wants the sexy, bloody nose, black eye injury. She was hit in the shoulder, she was hit in the arm, she was thrown out of that nightclub, she was turned into a viral sensation. The only reason why she is Jane Doe is because we prioritize her health over notoriety. And so although everyone wants that sexy physical hit, she got hit in the shoulder, but her mental, her psychological, and her emotional, that is what got hit. And I know that I'm not gonna sit here and talk to my generation of millennials and Gen Zs and alphas, and anyone is gonna lessen the injury of mental health and what that does to someone. Wants to be a meme. Not everyone wants their lives ruined over a moment in time. And so yes, she had is emotional, psychological, and gaining her independence and her life back, and being afraid to go out the house and being reduced to the person that Cardi B threw a microphone at. Could you imagine if your entire existence was reduced to a moment that you didn't even choose? Nobody should have to go through that without a choice. Cardi B made that choice.
If this goes to trial, how long do you expect the trial to last? I mean, Cardi B,
She's a fighter.
lots of money can pay for lots of legal.
Trial is a liquid scenario. We have to see how discovery progresses throughout all of that. There's a very clearly delineated process goes, and then as the case progresses and we disclose experts, we can make a good faith estimation about how long trial will be.
But you're looking at litigating. and try their cases. I mean, and who don't try their cases. You're looking at a team of litigators. In the last 6 weeks, our client knew who she hired. She knew she was going to have to hire fighters. So at this point, whatever the process and however long it takes, obviously, the apology and doing the right thing is probably what's going to be best, but we're not afraid of a fight. We're ready.
Anything else?